Hello, I'm Reverend Jim Wilkins. The sermon today is The Power to Manifest. The scripture is from Tenrikyo, Ofudasaki 3.4. Anything and everything of this universe is all the body of God. So ends the reading. The smallest change in nature can have a very large impact on a system. This is sometimes called the butterfly effect. The idea that the flutter of a butterfly's wings could begin a chain of events that could result in a storm many thousands of miles away. This theory assumes the interconnectedness of many things in nature. This same interconnectedness also applies to the mental and the spiritual aspects of our universe. When you happen to be in the right place at the right time and an opportunity falls in your lap, is it luck or is it a manifestation? What if you could create your own luck, make coincidences happen, even bring a few miracles into your life? David Spangler, in his book, Everyday Miracles, The Inner Art of Manifestation, presented concepts that merge science with spiritual mystery training when it comes to analyzing our ability to participate in the unfolding of events in our lives. He goes beyond the concepts of affirmation and visualization. When David was a young boy, he loved bread. At the age of 10, he was on a trip with his mother and father. They were on a walk late in the evening, and they could smell and almost taste the fresh bread baking as they passed by a bakery. His father knocked on the door, but they said they were closed. They walked a few blocks, and a policeman called them and came running up with a hot loaf of bread. The policeman had seen them looking in the bakery and decided to get a loaf of bread for them as a gift. As an adult, the author was driving home from work after a really bad day. He kept thinking about how mad he was and started enjoying a moment of rage. He said to himself, "I'm so angry I could smash glass." In his mind's eye, he could see himself with a hammer breaking glass. At that moment, a truck drove by and a good-sized rock smashed his windshield. His thoughts appeared to be creating his reality. Science has proven that the electron of an atom can be both a particle of matter and a wave of energy. Our notion of reality is built on everyday experiences, but wave-particle duality is so strange that we are forced to re-examine our common understanding of what we observe in the physical world. Something we might consider as a solid can change into energy and travel in the same manner as a sound wave or a light wave. Can this understanding of physics shed some light on the coincidences in our lives? We say some people are just lucky. Other people, we might say, always seem to be unlucky. We can contrast the author desiring a hot loaf of bread and receiving it with the author visualizing himself smashing glass and his windshield being shattered. Did he manifest his good luck and his bad luck? When I first started studying metaphysics, I had a public accounting firm. My goal was to always hire enough part-time staff so my full-time people were not overworked during tax season. Many of my colleagues did not feel you could get qualified part-time people and would work themselves and their staff horrendous hours in tax season. I was sitting at home on my couch at the beginning of tax season reading a book on metaphysics. I came to a sentence that said, "Be aware of what's around you." I felt a heavy, clear energy slow me down. I slowly scanned from left to right. On my right, at chest level, a scrap of paper was floating in the air. The heater vent on the floor was keeping this piece of paper in the air. I reached out and easily held the paper. It was a phone number and name of a person who had called my office about preparing tax returns. I had forgotten to return the call. I called immediately, and she turned out to be a perfect, experienced, part-time tax preparer who worked with me for many years. Was I creating my own luck? In his book, David Spangler has a theory that everything we do in life creates patterns. These patterns are energy waves that project out into the universe and interact with other waves. Everything has energy and or consciousness. Our thoughts have electrical energy. Every solid object is made of atoms, and they have energy. Other people, objects, nature, are all creating patterns with the energy they are emitting. He visualizes the world as a huge web of interacting threads of energy. It might look like a spider web, many spider webs overlaying each other. Our traditional metaphysical literature states that thoughts are things and they attract like thoughts. He expands the concept to all of our energy. Being present will attract like energy and resist those energies that are not in sync with our own. You can start contemplating why some people seem to be lucky and some people do not. Is the glass half full or half empty? Does your general outlook on life open up or close doors for you? When a person desires something, many times the feeling is that the object or relationship is separate from ourselves. We feel we must reach out and draw the desired thing to us. Modern physics views that separation does not exist. We are all connected by these infinite number of energy waves. Assuming we are all connected to all people and all things, when we desire something, when we want to manifest something, we don't need to reach out to get it. Our task is to modify our patterns to allow the energy or thing to flow to us. We could draw an analogy between these energetic connections and an electrical wire. If there is a short in a wire, or too much energy for the size of the wire, electricity will not flow. Our ability to interact and attract that which we want is dependent on our ability to let it flow into our lives. If something is not in our life, it is because of something we are doing. All manifestation requires change. It may be something as minor as saving money for a small purchase, or as major as moving to a new location for a new job. David Spangler was counseling a woman who had a very good marriage. He asked her how she had met her husband. She said she decided to make a list of all the characteristics and traits her ideal mate would possess. Among other things, she wanted a man who was kind, humorous, romantic, and responsible. She planned on having kids, so she wanted someone who would be a good father. She said that she didn't care if he was handsome, but she did want him to be someone who took pride in his body and in how he presented himself. From this list, she formed an image of the man she wanted to marry. She held this image in her mind every day for months, but nothing happened. She met no one who fit the picture she had created. Then she realized that if she was looking for her ideal mate, he was probably looking for his. What kind of woman and partner would this man want? In short, who should she be in order to be a complement to her ideal partner? Once she knew what her new self would be like, she began making change to be that person. She took up a program of physical exercise and sports to give her more physical vitality. She took a gourmet cooking class to enrich her imagination for preparing romantic meals. She stopped smoking. Because she wanted a mate who would be empathetic to the problem of those less fortunate, she began doing volunteer work at a shelter for the homeless to find expression for her empathetic side. One important thing she realized was that if she did all these things simply as a means to an end, the manifestation would not work. She knew that she had to make these changes for herself, not just to attract a mate. She wanted really to be a new person, not just to adopt a lifestyle for a few months and then drop it once she achieved her aims. She was altering her current reality from the inside out by honoring the authenticity and integrity of the new reality she was creating. A couple months after she started this process, she met a man who matched her exact image and who discovered that she matched the image he had created of the woman he wanted to marry. Within weeks, they were husband and wife, and they had been happy ever since. What is required and the changes that may result depend on what you are manifesting, of course. The work required will be in proportion to the object of your manifestation. A new grill is not going to take much work to manifest. A new job or a new relationship usually will. Believing in the ability to manifest what we want is not an excuse to deny difficult situations in your life. A huge part of being open to new energy is accepting exactly where you are in your life. If you are denying reality, you are short-circuiting some of the energy transfer between you and the universe. Being in the present with a clear mind allows us to accept and learn new ways of being. Manifesting anything new requires change. A consultant had developed a business plan and was looking for new clients. He was not having any success. He met a gentleman on a plane that was looking for exactly the skills the man possessed. The consultant had prepared himself and was mindful when an opportunity presented itself. In the author's experience, it often works out that what you will manifest is opportunities to fulfill your desire rather than the thing, the person, or the condition itself. If so, then you must be prepared to act positively and in a committed fashion upon those opportunities. The opportunities may even come as an intuition that requires attention and perhaps immediate action. Manifesting the larger things in life may require a 5-year plan. But do not be discouraged. 5 years is long enough to have to make a personal commitment, but short enough to fill at a point in time your plans can be reviewed and be revised. Each person will find what works best for them. Part of the work is consistent and thoughtful review of your actions, how you're feeling about what you're doing. How long does a manifestation take? It depends on your situation and what you're manifesting. I like a quote from the opening of the new Jane Fonda book, What Can I Do? When I was young, I thought activism was a sprint, and I worked around the clock, hoping for quick change. When I was older, I learned activism is a marathon, and I learned to pace myself. At 82, I realized it is neither sprint nor marathon. It is a relay race. The most important thing we adults can do now is join and support the next generation of climate activists ready to lead the movement. It is them that I dedicate this book. Accepting your current situation as it is and realistically setting goals of manifestation, you can open yourself to allow the power of the universe to assist you. In closing, I will use a quote from Sun Myung Moon, 12/13/59. God's mind is not only in His Word, but also in everything He created. God's mind exists wherever we go, in heaven or on earth. Blessings.